a wall, I get knocked down, I get back up, get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go toe to toe till I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick, trust. Give me the loot. See now we going high stakes. This ain't clickbait. This a risk take. This no mistake. I was born to do it. I was born for music. I just get into it. I can't get influence when I'm the influence. No genre music. We go rap back to pop, pop back to rap. Country on the track. I was once broke. I was down bad. Swear I'm never going back. I'm from upstate, where we see a little bit of this and some of that. Little city and some sticks. Watch me put it on the map, someone get attacked.
All right, guys, we are back with our Ducati V4 rebuild. If you guys notice, it is no longer sunny and 75 outside. That's because our initial part 1, 2, and 3 videos that we recorded were from June of last year. Currently, it is January 30th, 2025, and we're gonna continue rebuilding this thing. In this video, we're gonna be installing some new parts on our Ducati V4, specifically the new radiator for this bike. And we are getting that from our partner with this build, V4 Evo. They have a ton of aftermarket parts for Ducati that they're gonna be sponsoring for this build. So I'll link them in the description below, V4 Evo. Be sure to go check those guys out. I actually just got a message from the previous owner of this bike. They reached out to me and sent me some pictures of the bike at the accident when this bike was wrecked. I'll put those pictures up right now for you guys. What I'm gonna try and do is set up an interview with him for a future video. So I think that's gonna be really interesting to see the backstory of how this bike got to where it is right now. But with that, let's hop right into this build for our part 4 of this Ducati V4. And before we start recording the build of this thing with the new parts, I did want to go over one thing with you guys, and that's one of the comments that we received on the neutral situation with this bike. Let's dive into that a little bit. So in the previous episode of this bike, when I was trying to get it started, I was only able to run the bike when I had the bike in neutral and with the kickstand up. Now, typically when you're running a bike and it's in neutral, you should be able to have the kickstand down and have the bike start and run. Now, we did have one comment on the video, which I'll go over with you guys right now. At CVDKCK said, so you want to tell me you trying to rebuild a total Ducati, but you don't know that you have to put it in neutral to start or run it with kickstand down? LMAO. All right, so regarding the neutral situation for this bike, as you guys can see, I'm able to push the bike evenly forward and backward. The bike is in neutral. But if you come over here and then take a look at our gauge cluster, usually the neutral light would be right here illuminated green, which it's not right now. But you can see up here, it doesn't show any gear that we're in at the moment. But when I try and shift the bike, I did notice that everything was a little wonky with this thing. Since this bike is set up for GP shift, I have it all the way to the top, and it should be in first gear right now, but it's displaying 4th gear. And if I go down, which should be 2nd, it's showing 5th gear. This would be 3rd. I keep shifting down, and now it's showing we're in 1st gear. And now I'm going all the way down. Right now we're in 6th gear at the moment, and it's displaying gear number 3. So that tells me that we have an issue with, I think, the way that the bike is reading what gear we're in. So initially in the first video, I believe I said that the bike was in 3rd gear when it wrecked. The bike doesn't know what gear it's in at the moment. We don't know actually what gear that actually was in. We did have the bike in neutral, but since it wasn't actually recognizing that it was in neutral correctly, that's why we had to have the kickstand up in order to start the bike. So that's our little lesson for today with this bike. I'm hoping once we get it up and going that once it goes down the road, it should be able to reset itself and relearn what gear it's in. So hopefully we don't have any issues with that down the road. So let's get into installing some new parts on this bike. All right guys, as you saw, we just removed our old radiator from the bike, the one that was damaged up here near the spout. We're gonna set that aside, and in this box right here from V4 Evo, we're gonna open up our box and take out our new radiator. There's also a bunch of really nice aftermarket parts in here, which I'm not gonna show you guys just yet. I'll give you a little hint. It rhymes with carbon fiber and titanium. And we're gonna set some of those parts aside, and what we're gonna get is the radiator down here. So let's get this opened up, and let's get this new radiator thrown on this bike. All right guys, so we have our new parts installed. We have our new radiator right here. We've got our outer plastic shroud for around the radiator. Our old one was broken right here, and I think there might have been another couple broken pieces on it, but this new radiator is looking nice and fresh. I did have to bend back our radiator cap, so I'm not sure if this is gonna hold up. I will get another one if that does not hold, but that is looking really nice right now. Our new plastic shroud and our radiator. And I also installed our clutch lever because we did not have any type of lever here at all. It was completely broken off at the base. We got our new CRG lever. I love the CRGs. They're buttery smooth. This thing feels super, super nice. And now that we have that clutch lever installed, I do want to have one final test and fire this bike up and see if it will move under its own power. Let's get to it. All right, guys, this is a big moment of truth for this bike. Let's see if we can get this thing fired up and see if I can let out the clutch real smooth and see if we can get it under its own power and onto the lift. So here we go. right, that did not look like much. Whoo, that did not look like much at all. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a running and riding Ducati V4 now. This is super exciting that we were able to get that clutch lever on and this thing moves under its own power. That is the first time that this bike has moved since the accident under its own power. So, whew. Now that I have the radiator on, I do have to top everything off with fluids. That's why I did not want to run the bike too long, but man, this is exciting, getting further and further along with this build. Before I let you guys go, hit me in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the new microphone setup. Let me know what you guys thought about the intro on today's video. Trying to kind of switch things up a little bit, kind of tweak things with the videos and the layouts. So I appreciate all the feedback. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And I know these videos are a little bit short, but you know, life gets in the way. I at least want to try and get some stuff out to you guys each week. So I appreciate the support. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys are not already members to this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one with this build. Later.